Hey, it's me again, back to do another video, back to do another vlog, but a different vlog. So, I thought of doing a little twist to a vlog. I don't really talk about wrestling much, so this is going to be a wrestling vlog. Don't worry if you can hear the noise, I'm used to that all the time. So anyway, carrying on with this vlog, I'm just going to talk about how I got started in wrestling and what were my favourite wrestlers back then, and sort of like talk about the now. Which is kind of crazy, sorry, just my hair's a mess. Right, anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. I'll ignore the noise. Right, I started watching wrestling at the age of 5, which yearly terms was the late 80s, 1988 to be precise. And it was kind of crazy because it was the start of being the good and the bad, and in them days we all wanted to cheer for the good guy, and whereas nowadays people tend to like the bad guys. And wrestling for me was enjoyable. It was a time when I was a kid, good time when I was a kid, where the whole family would sit around, and I think it was a Saturday night we'd all watch the wrestling, or the pay-per-views they would view it on a Sunday. And as I was growing up, I was kind of late for school the next day from watching the pay-per-view monthly the night before. So, but to me, like, the wrestling that I grew up is totally different to the wrestling from now. And don't get me wrong, the wrestling's alright now, but I preferred it when I was younger. And like, the wrestlers I liked back in the 80s were Macho Man Randy Savage. I liked The Warrior. This is the weird thing, was my younger brother was a Hulk Hogan fan. My older brother was a Ultimate Warrior fan, and I was the Macho Man fan. And I then progressed from Macho Man Randy Savage to being a fan of Bret Hart. And still kind of to this day I still like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. Then when Bret Hart left for WCW, he was still alright, but then I edged on to Shawn Michaels. Then, must admit, did go on to watching a bit of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then I was sort of a fan of John Cena for a little bit, and Randy Orton and Batista, to name others. And then in 2005 is where I sort of stopped watching WWE. I think it was 2006 when Trish Stratus had her last match at Unforgiven and she won the title for the 7th time. That's the last time I watched WWE. And then I branched on to TNA, where I am and will always be a massive fan of AJ Styles. Even now when he's in Jeff Jarrett's promotion of Global Force Wrestling, and he's the leader of the Bullet Club, which is still really good. And like, I also like Samoa Joe, which he's now in talks of WWE, so I may watch WWE again for Samoa Joe. And just thinking of the other wrestlers that I like in TNA quickly. Oh yeah, I like Rockstar Spud and Madness because gotta have the cult British following. And also I can't forget when I do this video but to give a mention for the Undertaker because I liked him from when he started and I still like him now. He's the only wrestler near enough active that I like right away for him. Favourite matches we'll talk about in this vlog as well. Favourite matches, of course, you can't mention a favourite match without putting in all of Undertaker's casket matches and all of Undertaker's 21 victories. Of course, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart's Iron Man match. Savage and Hogan, WrestleMania 5. Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat match from WrestleMania 3. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania, which Edge won. Any knockout match in TNA, especially with the Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, their 3 matches they've had. I think it's 3 or 4. And now they're brewing their rivalry again, which is going to be really awesome. What other matches? There's one match that I cannot ever forget, and it dates back to SummerSlam 1989. Happens to be the match with Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Zeus, with Sensational Sherry in Macho Man and Zeus's corner, and Miss Elizabeth and Hulk Hogan and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That was the first ever wrestling VHS that I ever owned. Sadly, I don't have it now, but I do have it on DVD, so I get to relive the matches again. Just think on what else. What other matches? Oh yeah, there is a tag team match that I really enjoyed in the 80s. And I think it was in the Boston Garden, this match was. And it involved the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs. So that's like sort of 80s. I've already talked about my favourite match in the 90s. But you can't forget, when talking about the latter 90s, that you can't help but talk about Austin's feud with Vince McMahon. And all their matches that they had was amazing, especially the St. Valentine's Massacre match they had in the steel cage, where Paul White, as we all know, is the Big Show. I think he debuted in that match, and for Vince McMahon in that match, and he threw Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cage, and the cage like fell apart. Not like fell apart, it just came away, and then that's how Stone Cold Steve Austin won his match and went to WrestleMania. I mean, there's loads of matches that you can talk about. There's even ones with Kerry Von Erich that you can speak of. Oh yeah, Kerry Von Erich versus Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 1990. That was a good match. And then there was like the Rock and Austin feud, and the Rock and Triple H. All their matches were really good in the late 90s, and then when you come on to 2000s, there was a lot of things happening then. Vince buying WCW in 2001, the whole invasion angle, that was just amazing, where you had the ECW brand WCW brand and the WWE, what's known as the WWE today, they're all colliding together. And I'm just thinking what else, because there isn't really, well, obviously in the 2000s there was like the matches with Trish Stratus and Lita. They were just legendary. They just personified the Divas division. And even though the Divas division has just gone downhill, there's not really any Divas matches that you can say apart from Paige and AJ, because they're just keeping the Divas division together. But I don't know really anymore. Oh yeah, there's Edge and Undertaker. And then John Cena and Edge. Edge's matches were outstanding as well. But when you talk on the TNA side, from when I started to watch it, you've got Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels. You even have Matt Morgan versus Kurt Angle. Hernandez, his matches with Matt Morgan. Can't forget Abyss. Abyss, when he had that... Abyss and Jeff Hardy in the Monsters Ball. But Abyss had a match-up with I think he's in the Lucha Underground or AAA promotion now. He was known, I think he was still known as Judas Messias. Their Monster Ball bloody violent matches were just outstanding. It's crazy because there's lots since I've started watching TNA. There's more amazing matches here. One recent one, Dudley Boys, Hardys and the Wolves. The three-way matches they had, the tables, the ladder, the Full Metal Mayhem. That just personifies tag team wrestling. And then you can't underestimate the knockouts in TNA. They've had Falls Count Anywhere, steel cage matches, last knockout standing. All sorts of matches. You can't even forget about the Lock Spots challenge they had. That, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And now, that's why I prefer watching TNA, because you've got the more excitement. You don't know what's going to happen next. They always come about with the Feast or Fired cases, which is always like a big turnaround. You don't know what's going to expect. In WWE now, it's so PG rated that it's just, you know what's going to happen next. But with TNA, you've got that more adult variety where it's a more like 12, 15. It's not a PG era. So they've got the boundaries to make the matches more exciting, make the matches more out there, the more violent, the ones that want to grab you by the throat and just grab your attention. That's how you need to be an audience and a fan of wrestling. And I just don't know what else to say. But I mean, they're all like the matches, and then like the wrestlers themselves, WWE are trying the best to bring younger wrestlers, whereas TNA are getting the younger wrestlers like the Rockstar Spuds, the Christopher Melendez, the Kenny Kings, the Robbie E's, the Jesse Godders, Zema Ryan, all the X Division type wrestlers. And then you've got Dean Galloway, who's just joined TNA. He's gonna stir things up a bit. But anyway, I love wrestling. I've loved wrestling since I was 5 years of age. I'm probably never going to get out of it. I know it's sad that somebody that's almost 32 years of age can still enjoy wrestling, can still be a part of that Impact audience where sometimes you know what's going to happen, but sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. And I still want to feel like that, but so with TNA, I get that. So it's crazy. I'm just thinking what else to say. And even though you're not supposed to say that, but yeah. As I was saying, like with TNA, I do get that, and I want to still be like that from a wrestling promotion. So hang on. So yeah, I'm gonna still continue on and watching TNA, and now and again I'm gonna still get like little bits of news with WWE, because there's some exciting stuff gonna happen in WWE that I might stay tuned and watch. But the TNA, I'm always gonna be hooked, because I've been grabbed to make sure I want to watch more. So, and probably if TNA didn't exist, I don't know, it'd be hard to watch wrestling, if you get what I mean. Like, I'd still enjoy it. I'll still just buy the old Blu-rays or the documentaries, but I won't be like in the heart of the action where I am when I'm watching TNA, because that's how I feel as a fan watching, well, Impact Wrestling. That's how I feel as a fan. Whereas WWE, kids are watching it, and it's more entertainment, where Impact Wrestling is wrestling. I'm trying to get the word out. WWE is more kiddie friendly entertainment. If you want the action, the violence, the stuff to grab your attention, to make sure that you're fixated watching it, then, in my opinion, go and watch Impact Wrestling. There we go. Finally got it out. So this was a long enough vlog, and about something totally different about wrestling for me. So please stay gory, have unpleasant dreams. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all soon. Ta-ta for now.